There are books that preserve knowledge, books that preserve power, and then there are books that should not exist. A manuscript written in an unknown language, filled with impossible plants, astronomical diagrams no civilization should have drawn, and women bathing in green liquid beneath constellations no scholar can identify. For more than 5 centuries, no one has decoded it. Not cryptographers, not mathematicians, not the intelligence agencies of the 20th century, not even the men who built the modern science of code breaking. Welcome back to the Philoglot Lounge. Tonight, we open the pages of the most mysterious book in human history, the manuscript named after the man who found it, Wilfrid Voynich, and the shadow of the man who may have written it, John Dee. The year is 1912. Inside a Jesuit college near Rome, an antiquarian book dealer uncovers a locked chest of forgotten manuscripts. Among them, a single volume bound in faded vellum, unreadable, unclassifiable, utterly impossible.
At first glance, I believed it to be a ciphertext. Naturally, any coherent script unknown to history suggests encryption. But the structure was wrong. The symbols repeated statistically like language, yet no substitution method revealed meaning. No transposition system produced order. Impossible. The illustrations were equally absurd. Botanical forms with no earthly taxonomy, astronomical wheels without recognized cosmology, and sections that appeared pharmaceutical or ritualistic. I consulted linguists across Europe. None recognized the script. Not Arabic, not Latin, not Hebrew, not any constructed tongue known to scholarship.
Voynich became obsessed. Night after night, he studied the manuscript beneath candlelight, convinced he stood at the edge of a historical revelation, or an elaborate fraud. But there was one name that kept resurfacing in the margins of speculation: a mathematician, an astrologer, a court philosopher to Queen Elizabeth I, a man who believed angels spoke through encoded language, John Dee.
Men often confuse secrecy with deception, but hidden knowledge is not always false knowledge. Sometimes truth survives only when concealed.
Dee possessed one of the largest libraries in Europe. He studied alchemy, astronomy, navigation, and what he called the divine architecture beneath reality itself. With his associate, Edward Kelly, he claimed to receive transmissions from celestial beings, not in English, not in Latin, but in a strange symbolic language, Enochian.
There is no evidence Dee authored the manuscript directly, but the chronology aligns disturbingly well. Carbon dating places the vellum in the early 15th century, yet ownership trails point repeatedly toward Dee's circle, and there are diagrams within the text that resemble Renaissance occult cosmology. Not exactly, but close enough to unsettle any serious historian.
Then came the cryptographers. During the Second World War, some of the greatest code breakers alive examined the manuscript. Men who had shattered military encryption systems, men who could pull meaning from statistical noise itself. They failed, every one of them. And that failure changed the mystery completely, because an unsolved cipher suggests intelligence, but a cipher unsolved by generations of experts suggests something far stranger. What if the manuscript is not encrypted? What if it was never meant to be translated at all? Some researchers believe the text is an elaborate medieval hoax, a meaningless construction designed to imitate language. Others argue the opposite, that the manuscript contains a system of thought fundamentally alien to our own, a language built not on words, but associations, symbols connected through memory, astronomy, medicine, ritual, an attempt to map reality itself.
You seek a key because you assume the lock was made for you. But there are doors in this world that do not open inward.
The illustrations deepen the unease. Women emerging from biological tubes, star charts intersecting with anatomical forms, plants assembled from impossible combinations of roots and petals. Nothing is entirely familiar, yet nothing feels random. The human mind detects intention inside the chaos again and again, as though the manuscript hovers precisely on the boundary between meaning and madness.
I spent years believing the solution was near, one missing cipher table, one overlooked pattern. But eventually, I encountered a more troubling possibility. Perhaps the manuscript survives precisely because it resists comprehension. A perfect mystery cannot become obsolete.
Today, the Voynich Manuscript rests inside a climate-controlled archive at Yale University, digitized, scanned, measured by artificial intelligence systems capable of analyzing millions of linguistic patterns in seconds, and still, silence. But this silence is an invitation. The Voynich Codex remains locked, and only those with the eyes to see shall open it. Pay close attention. Hidden visually within the frames of this very video, among the candles, the old blueprints, and the shadows of this lounge, we have hidden 4 secret numeric codes. They are not in the description. They are not in the comments. Find the 4 keys, and ye shall unlock the next chapter of our digital archive via the hosting a link below.
There will always be texts humanity cannot read, not because the symbols are hidden, but because the reader has not yet become the person capable of understanding them.
A book no one can read, a language no one can name, and somewhere beneath its diagrams, the persistent reminder that knowledge itself may have limits. Thank you for spending your evening with us in the shadows of history. Subscribe to the Philoglot Lounge. Keep your eyes sharp for the keys, and goodbye for now. Until our next gathering, the gears of time are always turning.